solar by 2020. And that's mandated. We are on track. We're actually even a little ahead of schedule, forcing the utilities to do that. So obviously, what a wonderful resource. Now that can be done in every state, but certainly a lot of the, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, that is happening. So I'm for that. Ethanol, I think is wonderful. Let us take our crops. It's good for agriculture. It's good for energy to make us less reliant on Saudi Arabia. I'm for some of the traditional sources. We obviously we're not going to lose be independent overnight. We're not going to stop you being dependent on our automobiles. I think we need a drill in the North Slope of Alaska. I think we need that oil. They want that in Alaska. I don't know why that's not being discussed in Washington. I'm for expanding nuclear power as long as obviously it's done extremely safely. A lot of our plants are sold. California is the last Diablo Canyon plant that was sited and built in this country, but Georgia, they've now sited a plant. We obviously held back a little bit because of the tragic situation in Japan, but I'm for opening up that. It's much safer than coal. And no one has died from a nuclear power accident, in this country, where it's, of course, so many in coal accidents. So my number one thought on that, though, is conservation. And I get beat up over that, and it's not like Jimmy Carter did during the energy crisis, requiring every thermostat at 62 degrees in the winter or whatever. There should not be any federal laws. But let's use let's have some common sense. Let's in public facilities, and we all go to a movie theater in the summer and it's 60 degrees, you're in sweaters, and it's crazy. Let's just use common sense. And in airports and places like that, in your own home, my parents grew up in the Depression, and lived through World War II, and they were huge conservationists. I mean, I'd get yelled at if I left a light on in a room. Well, let's start being a little more responsible with outside lighting in our homes. They don't have to burn all night. Let's just be practical without the mandates, but do it on a common sense, voluntary basis. And someone needs to be talking about that, and that's what I want to do. Conserve. We can lessen our dependence on foreign oil, which we're at a very tenuous time. We follow, I'm sure, what's going on in the Middle East. Syria now, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, which is our biggest, we're so reliant on them for foreign oil. If that country falls to the fundamentalists like Iran, we're in big trouble, and you will see our economy go down the tank. So we need to lessen that dependence. We need to conserve right away.